11th of good old March. Hard to believe. The temperatures may go to near 50 in a couple of days. That's impressive. Well, their theme at Ciccino's has always been live, laugh, and eat well. It's the Italian way. It's the Ciccino's way. Today, my good friend Sal Franzone, along with his daughter Kaitlyn Franzone, are in the house. Welcome. It's Weber This Week. Thanks. Okay, maybe we can put away those snow shovels, huh? Maybe. Knock on wood. I better knock on my head. Listen, folks, I'm getting tired of winter. I think Sal and Kaitlyn would agree with me. Let's hope that the weather now turns a little bit warmer. I am hearing that the next couple of days we might see 45 to 50. But I'm just praying that it continues, and it's been a tough winter for me anyways, and I'm sure Sal and Kaitlyn will have comments on that when we get a chance to talk to them. By the way, just a reminder, Sal has been a friend of mine for many years, and I've known him for several years. He's been a great sponsor of our show. We appreciate that, and he's going to come back on. He told me this morning in April to do a 3-month run, as he always does every year, so we're looking forward to that. Sal, thanks again for coming in. It's always great to have you in, and we're here to talk about the business. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show. Thanks for having my daughter on the show, Harold.
Well, listen.
It's always a pleasure.
Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to have you, and Kaitlyn, I was trying to get your mom to come on. I had invited her, and I'm glad. Well, I'm sorry she's not here, but I'm glad you took her place, and I'm glad you're joining us, and I hope you have a good time with it.
I will.
Now, Sal, let's talk, before we get to Kaitlyn, let's talk a little about Ciccino's for the folks that may not know about Ciccino's, and you may have come back from Moscow today if you don't know about Ciccino's, because he's got 3 locations. Their company has expanded. It's kind of hard to believe. Before we went on the air today, he told me that his years going back to Waterloo, I was kidding him about it. I remember way back when he was tearing down something next to his restaurant in Waterloo. Little did I know that it would turn out to be at the Ciccino's nice location in Waterloo. 23 years it's been there. Amazing. 23 years.
Celebrating 23 years at the end of May 29th this year.
Scary. And, of course, he's one that doesn't like to sit around and play golf and relax and do fishing and hunting, because he's obviously wants to keep working. So about 10 years, I guess, after that, he decided he might expand into Geneva. So he moved up to Geneva and started off the Geneva operation, and I'm assuming that's doing well as good for you.
Everything's going well. We've been there since July of 2006.
Yeah.
We initially opened as a takeout pizzeria, about 1,400 square feet.
Yeah.
Now we occupy about 4,500 square feet today.
And the opera song is not over. Now, Sal and his family didn't take a deep breath and say, hey, Waterloo and Geneva is enough. Let's just relax and do our best and try to make a couple of bucks and pay some employees and take care of all the regulations. But he had to come out to Lago. Why did he do that? Because he had obviously a memory thought, a process of, hey, this is something we may want to hook onto, because Lago being the casino that has brought, I'd say, hundreds of thousands of people in the last 2 years. Our anniversary at Lago was February the 1st. So we were 2 years opening as of the past February 1, about a month and a half ago. And Sal joined the food court, which consists of 3 businesses: his, Ciccino's, Mo Southwest Grill, and Smash Burger. And Sal, let's flash back and talk about your decision to... I remember you coming out there when it was being constructed. I remember you carrying around a lot of paperwork and a lot of drawings.
Site surveys,
That's right, when Jeff Babinski was showing me around. What triggered the thought process of being a part of that?
Well, when we found out that, the Exit 41 is a prospective site for the new casino, we thought, hey, we need to be part of this. We've been part of the Finger Lakes for, well, back then, 22 years. And we thought being part of this would be do great for our brand in the area, bring people from outside the area to get to know our brand, and to possibly bring them into town and visit our other restaurants.
And it's turned out well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, very well.
And I always peek over, because I work part-time, as you all know, at promotions, and it's only a few feet away from where I walk to get to the food court. And I see lines of people, which is good for Sal and his team. They're always good, so that's great. So you got 3 operations. We'll get back to Sal in a minute. But a young lady, his daughter Kaitlyn, is with us today. And Kaitlyn, of course, thanks again for coming in.
My pleasure.
Kaitlyn, talk a little about your education. You went to a local school, and then you went on to St. John Fisher.
I did, yes. I did 2 years at St. John Fisher. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Management. And before that, I went to Cayuga Community College for 2 years just to do my basics, and then that's when I transferred to St. John Fisher.
Now, while you were in school, had you thought in your mind that eventually when you got out of school you would be part of the family business, or was that not? Was that a second thought or a first thought, or was that something you had thought about, or maybe you didn't want to be, or how did that all unravel in your mind?
Actually, I first wanted to do ultrasound technician, and then I started getting more involved in the restaurant, and that's when I realized that I enjoy it. So then I changed my major.
Well, that's great. So, well, it's great, and I know, not because your dad's sitting 4 feet from you, I know family businesses can be rewarding, and I know that you probably, and your mom and Sal, your dad, probably, when you get home, you don't talk shop talk all the time about pizzas and panettis and all that stuff, right? Or you do? You continue that dialogue at night when you're home with the family? Or is it when you leave the business, it's home time, and it's TV time, and it's sports time?
I mean, we talk about Ciccino's 24/7. I don't mind. I'm used to it.
No, that's good. That's good.
But
that's great.
I love it. I wouldn't.
Well, that's awesome. Family businesses are unique. And Sal, you could speak volumes of that, I'm sure. A lot of businesses bring the family together, and they work together, and they enjoy the rewards of having a successful business. And then there are tough times where the family can strengthen up and get it done and do what has to be done. And I think you can certainly be a true testimony for that, right?
Oh, absolutely. But
yep.
Dog, going back to her making decisions,
sure.
She doesn't know I used to stick menus underneath her pillow when she was a young kid, so hoping the osmosis, would come up and get it in her system before she even got into business. It was a joke.
That's good.
No, I just joking. But it has been a family business, and ironically, my parents helped me out years ago in the mid '90s, which had no restaurant experience at all, and they're the ones that helped me, financially and with their support to get into the business initially. My father's still there today. He comes in 6 days a week. His name's Vito. Comes in 2-3 hours a day, even though he's 80. He's going to be 82 this year.
God bless him.
And it just goes to show you, family. It's been a strong support system, but we've grown beyond family nowadays. It's it's a 90+ organization. Each store's got its own management team, and our longtime managers at each store. They average 10+ years for our management teams in each store. So.
And I think, Kaitlyn, as you pointed out, with the management teams that you have throughout the 3 operations, it's important that they put together a good team as well.
Yeah. We're like all family, so it's really nice. We're all really, really close.
Yeah.
And I think that helps us out a lot.
Yeah. And, there are going to be testing times where the food supply doesn't come in on schedule, and you got to make some changes and make it happen.
Yep.
And I saw your ad recently with the windstorm. You were shut down for a while and the power went off.
Yeah, we had the wind knocked off one of the lines off the pole.
Yeah.
So we were running a 3-phase power. We were only running with 2 legs of power. So everything that was 120 would be running. Everything that required 3-phase 240, we had no power, so we had to shut down.
Yeah, I saw his ad, and I knew that it's part of having a business, and it's part of what we have to face day in and day out.
Mother Nature.
That's right. As you look at, Sally, you mentioned you got an organization over 90-some people and 3 operations. Certainly you want to recruit the best talent available. And I know you obviously, having gone to your restaurants very often with my wife Mary, is the fact that I see the same faces when we go in there, and that's a good thing. So obviously you and now Kaitlyn overseeing the HR office in Waterloo, you obviously make it reasonable pay rate. They can at least make a living working for you and the organization. But I think it's more important that you want people to sustain and remain with your company as long as possible. And I think that's what you try to do, and which most businesses try to do within reason, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And because you obviously have certain budgets to maintain. You can't just give somebody extraordinary amount of dollars and then the next person you cut them back. So I think it's got to be a situation where you, and it's obviously worked well because you've got a team, as you mentioned earlier, that have been with you for several years. That's not easy to do, as you probably know, being in business.
Our retention, we have a very good retention rate in our restaurants. And yes, the key is making money.
That's right.
The employees making money, but the business making money.
So you can pay.
Absolutely. And it's been, our success is due to the hard work of the employees. that have been on for us a long time, and even the short-term employees, you know, that come on board and either go off to school or what so forth. But you know, it's been a team effort.
Well, I should point out, Kaitlyn, as we mentioned earlier, she will be overseeing the HR office that they're putting together across the street from the main store in Waterloo. And I'm sure she's going to have a lot of things to get readied and a lot of paperwork. I am sure it's New York, remember?
Yeah.
But Kaitlyn, let's talk about possible opportunities to work at Ciccino's. If somebody is interested watching the show right now and would like a part-time job or maybe come in and talk about a full-time position, you would contact HR or contact?
I mean, there's multiple ways that you can apply.
Online?
Online, yep.
Okay.
You can come in person in the store, fill out an application.
Okay. So you're always reviewing potential applications to fill in needs? Sure.
Yeah, we always accept applications.
This digital era has changed a lot of things, you know, with online applications, Facebook applications, social media applications, and so forth.
That's right.
Definitely made things a lot easier.
Yeah, I know. Now, is it foolish on my part to ask you, with 3 operations, is there number 4 in the back of your head thinking, or?
I can't divulge any information until I know it's going to happen for sure. I think I said this to you on the last show.
You did. I asked you the same question. Are you going to expand to 3? And you made it 3, so I was wondering if you're going to number 4. So
it could very well be a possibility down the road, but at this given time, there's nothing in the working. So last year's expansion was our corporate office across the street. This year, I don't know what it has in store for us.
That's good. That's funny. And Sal, do you ever have any free time to yourself that you can just sit home and relax?
Oh, yeah. Sunday, I usually take Sundays off. Usually Sundays, you know, do stuff around the house, stuff with the family. Like yesterday, I took the family to watch my wife and my son went and watched a movie at Destiny USA. You know,
good.
You got to take time off. You got to take time to enjoy. You got to.
The phone doesn't ring while you're off?
Oh, the phone always rings. And now with text messages, always, you know, something's going off, you know. But we got a good management staff where, you know, unless it's an emergency, you know, they don't call. They usually ask a question, and they're pretty good about, you know, waiting to get answers and stuff like that. But if it's an emergency, they know to call.
Now, let's go back to your operation at Del Lago. Of course, he's part of, obviously, the food court with Smashburger and Mo Southwest Grill. You get a good rapport with those folks?
Absolutely. Yeah, the owners, you know, I know Drew and Brad very well. Yeah. You know, they're good guys.
That's great. Guys, and it's amazing what you did out there, as you kidded me about the space that you were allotted to put yours together. It's pretty mind-boggling. I've walked up to your counter at Del Lago, and I am pretty marveled at how you can get that done with such a small area.
It's tough because what you see up front is about 80% of our space of that.
That's amazing.
It's total space is 750 square feet. Now, 750 square feet operating, you know, 19 hours a day, 7 days a week, compared to our other locations, which our Waterloo locations altogether about 12,000 square feet, and our Geneva locations 4,500 square feet. So obviously we have to do a limited menu, you know, offer a limited menu, and it's slices, pizzas, salads, and beverages. Mm-hmm. And we throw a few specials in there, you know, seasonal and stuff like that. But very, very limited space to be able to work out of.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to see it operate. Yeah, it's pretty scary. So, Kaitlyn, when you get a chance to get away from the work, do you have some things you like to do when you're not working, like go skiing or go bowling or anything like that, or just relaxing?
I like to relax. I hang out with my family a lot.
That's
nice. When I have time. I actually, Sundays are my days off as well, too. So it's kind of nice because we all get to be together.
That's good. Nice. That's great. Well, that's awesome. Hey, listen, it's live, laugh, and eat well. It's a Ciccino's way. It's the Italian way. We're glad to have Sal and Kaitlyn Franzone is my special guest on Weber this week. Let's take our commercial break and pay homage to the great sponsors who make this show possible. We'll be back. Del Lago Resort and Casino has something for everyone. 2,000 slot machines, 99 gaming tables, The Vine featuring top national music and comedy acts, the dining options, the Great Portico by Fabio Viviani, the Farmers Market Buffet, the Social Cafe and Bar, and the 14,000 square foot European-style spa. Del Lago offers massages, body treatments, and facials, plus a full-service salon. Visit DelLagoResort.com for more information. Cayuga Lake National Bank, offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of mine for over 35 years. Great staffing at Cayuga Lake National Bank. Check them out. DA's Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. By the way, the Padula family has been a sponsor of mine for 33 years. Bostrom Farms is a butcher shop focused on providing fresh local meat to the Finger Lakes region. The retail store is located on routes 5 and 20 in Stanley. They offer a full range of pork, beef, and chicken products that you can feel real good about. Buying food for your family should be fun. At Bostrom Farms, we put the fun and trust back into buying meat. The Magee Diner, located off New York State Thruway, exit 41. The Magee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country fresh home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and check out their menu at MageeDiner.com. And I thank Gary and Kathy Schlegel for their fine support of Weber This Week. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes is a child-friendly location where allegations of physical or sexual abuse are responded to by a multidisciplinary team of professionals. The team works together to conduct a thorough investigation and to provide necessary support services to children and their non-offending caregivers with a goal of minimizing further trauma to a child. The Newark Pilots are the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at NewarkPilots.com. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at theomentheater.com, a fine sponsor of Weber This Week. The Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Welcome back, everybody. It's the Dog H. Weber with you with Sal Franzone and his daughter Kaitlyn. I gave Kaitlyn credit for overseeing the HR department, which is being underway as we speak across from Waterloo store up in good old Waterloo. But I also point out she has another responsibility. She's the assistant manager of the Geneva operation. So we got that taken care of. Now, during the course of our scroll of our commercials, and by the way, speaking of our commercials, I did have something up for my friends at Bostrom Farms, and I will find that. They had asked me to plug something. Bostrom Farms out by Stanley. You've been out in 5 and 20 past Geneva. You get past the good old landfill out there. And I'll get to it in a second after we go back. But they had a couple special I wanted to plug to them. But anyways, you go to Bostrom, they have fabulous meat. It's just before you get to Stanley on 5 and 20, past the landfill, outside of Geneva. It's on the right, stuck back in. It's Bostrom Farms. They're phenomenal. The meat is great. And if you get a chance to get out there and check it out, please do. They are really good. Now, Sal, we were talking about a lunch menu, and I tried to prep my pronunciation of the first Sicilian rice ball, but I'm going to leave it up to you so I don't screw it up.
Arancini.
There you go.
You got to roll the R. Arancini.
And that is the rice ball salad duo, and that is a choice of pepperoni or spinach and mozzarella stuffed rice balls. 2 finished with tomato blush sauce, served with a house salad and choice dressing.
Yes, it is.
$11.49. Okay. Then we got Italian naans?
Nachos.
Nachos.
It's Italian nachos with a spin on it.
All right. Naan bread, bruschetta tomatoes, fresh garlic and herbs, fresh mozzarella, and balsamic reduction. Perfect. Carolina heat chicken salad. These are all lunch specials, folks, okay? New York Pico flatbread pizza, buffalo burger, 1/2 pound of Buffalo Red Hot seasoned beef burger. Sounds good.
It is good.
Ooh.
And getting back to that
Yep.
Carolina Heat,
Yep.
that's it. We're introducing a new wing sauce, which is our Carolina Heat. It's a spicy southern barbecue sauce, and it's delicious. So it's coming soon on our new menu, which is going to be out in a couple of weeks.
All right, and the fried clam po' boy.
Po' boy, yeah. It's Lent season. We got to incorporate some sort of fish. So
Yeah.
decided to put a spin on some clams and put in a sandwich.
Toasted 6-inch Italian sub roll, fried clam strips in tartar sauce, served with a choice of steak fries, onion rings, or a cup of soup of the day.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, listen, another thing that Sal is very much engaged into, and it's something that we've talked about on previous shows, and that, of course, the celebration of the Pathway Home. Sal, for the folks that may not be aware of it, tell us a little about the background of the new operation, of the new Pathway Home, and when it got created, and we can go from there.
Well, the Pathway Home of the Finger Lakes is located on Route 414 North. It's a Seneca County comfort care facility. It's a not-for-profit organization, local not-for-profit organization, and it services families and I can't say patients, but guests that are nearing end of life, and it's a way for families to be able to spend comfortable time with their loved ones. It's a little over 2 years that we've been up and running out there. For 4 years, it was on paper, and 2 years ago it became reality. Thank you to all the support for all the individuals that helped us get this underway, and donations and so forth, and time and effort, and all volunteers. But now we are how do you want to say it? We are
in need of some
in
additional
need
funds.
of additional funds for sustainability, and we are asking those people out there that can help us with support. Next month, on April 11th, from 6 to 8 p.m. is our annual spring fundraiser. For the past 5 years, we've been holding it on the second floor of our bank in our Waterloo facility, in our banquet room. We outgrew it over the past couple of years, and we decided to move the venue to the Seneca Falls Country Club. So we'll be sponsoring the event, but holding it in a larger venue and inviting our local area residents to please come out and help us support this good cause. And
music provided by the Lipker sisters.
Yes, they've actually been there for the past 5 years, so thanks to them once again.
And by the way, there'll be basket raffles, appetizers, cash bar. Tickets are $30 each, and they're available. You can give a call to the following number, 315-257-0307. That's 315-257-0307 if you want to contact them and set up getting tickets for this fine event. And that, of course, you guys do a phenomenal job sponsoring it. And if you're interested and can carve out the time to get there and certainly be a part of that, they would appreciate it. Because as Sal pointed out, it's one thing to create the facility and do such wonderful thing for. You talked about maybe helping 40 families since they've been there.
Yeah, it's over 40 families that they've helped service over the past 2 years.
That if the opportunity can be to help contribute to a phenomenal cause. So if you have any further questions, give a call. Just give a call up to 315-257-0307. That, of course, is the Pathway Home.
And then along
Sure.
with monetary donations, anybody who's willing to donate time as well, please contact the same phone number and ask for Marty Shields. She's the executive director out there, and it's a great cause. Something that definitely been a pleasure being part of for the past four plus years.
Absolutely. Okay, so Sal, back and maybe get Kaitlyn to talk about it too. As far as Kaitlyn, as far as your offers for food offers, whether it be lunch or dinner, do you guys? I know you change your menu quite often, but it's expensive ordeal to change it because you got to create new menus, and there's an expense involved in that. In your view, Kaitlyn, how often does the family think about changing the schedule? Is there something that's usually a 6-month or a 8-month scenario?
Well, we change our specials every month.
Okay.
Our lunch specials. I'm always messaging my dad, "Hey, I got an idea." But but we do that often. But we like to change as time
Annually.
changes.
Yeah,
we like to keep up with it.
Right.
So.
The menu changes are annually, usually once a year.
Yeah,
So.
and that's an expensive process too.
Oh, it
you have
is.
to create.
It is. But we get a fair shake. From Wilson Press, our local printer. They got a great graphic arts department, and they do a great job.
My good friend Rich Rickey, and we went to school together. He's a good buddy. So he's a fine sponsor of this show. So things are going good. Yeah, he's a good guy. And you're always looking at, Sal, expanding the menu, coming up with new things, new ideas. You may see it from another restaurant that you attend with your wife and daughter. And they may click on and say, hey, maybe we ought to consider adding that to our vast number.
Nowadays with, I'm not going to say that we use it frequently with Pinterest and all that stuff. There's an online digital resource of recipes, everything out there, or even ideas, So it's not just typically going out to patronize another restaurant and getting a great idea and using some other chef's creative talent to boost yours. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's a plethora of knowledge out there, and we look around, we shop around, and if we think it's going to fly, just like these rice balls, these are arancinis. We've made them in house at home, homemade for years. In the house. Finally decided to put it on the special on the menu. You know what I mean? And it's been on the menu a little over a week, and it's turned out to be pretty successful. People love them. So tried something new, expanding the menu. I don't know about always expanding the menu. Nowadays you're looking to reduce the menu to make things more efficient, stuff like that. But but changing, keeping it fresh, that's key. Keeping patrons' interest to be able to return, want to come back that next time. That's always key.
And when you, and I'm sure Kaitlyn now, it's coming part in the business of more of a significant role with her HR responsibilities and assistant manager Geneva. You sometimes get everybody together and maybe at a party or something, get a group when you can get them together and tell them what your thoughts are and how business is going. I guess you probably do that on an update center every so often.
Yeah, we update our management staff and our staff, how things are going. Obviously they working day in and day out, they can see when it's slow, when it's busy, and stuff like that. So,
but I would think, knowing you as long as I have, that your theme is we're doing good, but we need to maintain that excellent customer service, because that is paramount in today's eating. Right?
Oh yeah,
people, as you know, Kaitlyn, if somebody gets upset at your restaurant, they may not come back. They may tell somebody down the street, and word flows, and as well as anybody, being much younger than any of us in this room. But I got to tell you that with the social media, if you don't do it right, all of a sudden you're plastered all over Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure there are times where people make mistakes and bring the wrong thing out. Things are going to happen. It's part of life. But I got to think that as best as you can. I don't think there's such a word as perfection. You can strive for excellent customer service, but there are times where somebody makes a mistake, and you may get a note. I know you have little notes you can leave with you, and you gotta try to remedy that situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, any feedback is good feedback. If we're doing something right, we want to hear about it, and especially if we're doing something wrong, we want to hear about it too.
So you can correct it.
Now, with the notes, with the requests, with the drop boxes.
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of in the past. Now you got social media.
Yeah.
We get messages all the time. Hey, I had a pleasant meal the other night, this and that, or I wasn't too happy with our meal, this and that. But we always make it a point to respond back and get their get helpful insight in it.
And make it right. Yeah.
And make it right, yeah.
No, that's right. That's what the really key of the whole situation is. Well, listen, let's plug this Pathway situation again. Coming up, it's going to be an outstanding benefit coming up, celebration of the benefit, the Pathway Home. That's going to be on April the 11th. That's, of course, coming up in, not too far down the future. It's going to be 6 to 8 o'clock at the Seneca County Country Club. My buddy Mike Farrar and his team will oversee that. They do a great job. Of course, that's at 2790 Route 89, Seneca Falls. The music provided by the Lipker Sisters. There'll be basket raffles. There'll be appetizers, cash bar. Tickets are $30 each and available at 315-257-0307. I'm sure Jimmy, when he does this show in a few minutes after we leave the studio, he'll probably add that on so you folks can take advantage of trying to get a hold and get some tickets for that event. So it should be good. Well, guys, as we approach the hour of the clock's, I just looked at that clock, Jimmy. It's called spring forward for a reason. It's 2:29 here, so you had me confused. I said, hey, we went on the air early today. But anyways, and by the way, next week, no guest, because myself and Jimmy will ponder March Madness. We'll have the brackets, and Jimmy will have a copy, and I'll have a copy, and we'll discuss the NCAA tournament. And hopefully Jimmy's going to be here next Monday. We'll talk about the brackets and the March Madness, which brings so many folks happy at this time of the year. You like following basketball? Or
no.
Not really? Do you like any sports? Football?
I like sports that my brothers play.
Oh, great.
I don't really watch sports, honestly.
It's okay.
But
that's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, it's March Madness. I mean, it's crazy, right? You got the TVs rolling.
Rolling.
Oh, they got to have
next
them
Thursday, I believe, right?
Oh,
next
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, the tournaments this week, the ACC tournament, Syracuse is playing the winner of the Boston College-Pittsburgh game, right, Jim? Yep. Yeah, Boston College-Pittsburgh game. They play on Wednesday, 9 o'clock. That's a problem for the dog because I go to bed at 5 to 9, so I don't know. I might have to tape it. Just kidding. Well, listen, I appreciate it for coming in, Kaitlyn. Thanks for joining us today.
Definitely. Thank you.
Continued success. And I'll see you down the road at Ciccino's. And Sal, as usual, thank you. And I appreciate it. All right. And of course, remember, Sal's going to be joining the Weber Show as a sponsor starting up on April 1st for a 3-month run, as he's been doing for several years. We really appreciate his generosity for sponsoring the dog show. So for Kaitlyn and Sal Franzone, hey, their family does a wonderful, marvelous job. Waterloo, Geneva, Del Lago, huh? What's that old thing that I wrote down here? Live, laugh, and eat well. It's the Italian way. It's the Ciccino's way. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.